And what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We're at it again with another weekend of United Rogue Overwatch. We have a game here between Ottawa and Havana, and joining me in the caster booth here today is the one, the only Helios. That's right, we have a Louisville cast today. Let's get
Yes,
into it.
yes, we do. And Havana have won the coin flip, and they have chosen to go to Elias as our first map. What do you think about that map pick?
Um, I mean, let's be honest, Soup Can, one of the names of all time in UR Overwatch. He's a funny, silly guy. He has some funny, silly guys on his team. I think we want the funny, silly poops. I think it opens up some of the characters that they like to play. Probably gonna see Lucio at a Ghostface, or maybe not. No, Ghostface is on DPS. I'm just gaslighting all of you. Or that soup can known to Ajax. He likes the Lucio. I think that's what we're playing for. At least in my mind, as a Lucio player, that's what I'm playing for.
I it's going to be interesting to see what White Rain plays because on Lighthouse, Anna's much stronger than Kiri, and Elias is very dive centric. So these backlines are going to be really interesting.
Yeah. Um, I will point out though, Adbon putting himself in Widow jail, as is the common theme of every Ottawa cast, will be able to control some sightlines on ruins, and then we'll have to see if the cheeky angles he could take will pay dividends or not on some of the other maps.
I'd be more worried about the Widow on Well than on probably Ruins. Because how are you going to deal with a Widow that has no high ground? Especially since I love Ottawa.
He's gonna get it done. Again, I do think Ruins is the map for Widow, but I don't know. He's been, interestingly enough, finding angles on these control maps that are kind of just uncontested, even though they're these close range, not
Or
really
Brawl.
Widow centric maps. Yeah, he's been taking some cheeky angles, and I think if he heats up, if he passes his heat checks early on those maps, and then rolls into Ruins later on, I think it could be devastating.
And Ottawa have banned Wrecking Ball for the first map. So that means Tank is off the table for this.
That being said, we have to give a shout out also to the ringer, Light, stepping up for Ottawa, filling the Shogun Apple DPS shoes. Um, that might play a little bit of a factor in this match as well. Looking at the roster, knowing Adbon is in Widow jail, will Light be able to hang on up here? And Emerald, a respectable hit scan player himself, but now making his Ruby debut.
It is also going to be really interesting to see how Havana reacts to the ball ban with their own. Are they going to ban a DPS or a support? I think it's really something to consider, especially on this map, that you might want to ban. Oh, they ban Ana. I think that's a fair ban.
I think that was interesting,
I mean,
only because I feel like that soup can, good friends with Recon, knows Recon is an Ana enjoyer. Just felt a little, as Adbon said here in the chat, a little racially motivated. All right, that was definitely that soup can hating on Recon, 100%.
he did say that.
I actually think it would have been funnier, albeit rude. But again, light hit scan player from Emerald, maybe exploiting the the weak link in the chain, so to speak, banning one of his comfort picks. We know he likes Soldier, we know he likes Cassidy. Just sort of limiting his options and exploiting that could have been a strategy, but
Starting with Ruins, I don't starting with ruins probably isn't great for Ottawa because, like you said, you'd really prefer to have you really prefer to have lighthouse or well first.
And here it is. The hero's being teased in the spawn room right now. We have Vanguard ready to mog people. Light, like I said, on that Cassidy. Adbon sticking to his jail cell. And Recon and Stitch with the backline of Moira Kiri.
No Lucio?
I don't think
Oh,
anyone
Moira
really
Juno.
plays Lucio. I think
Uh,
Stitch
uh,
will, but here we have Vanguard trying to poke out that monkey before he takes his initial jump. Trick about half HP, forced to burn his bubble and jump back out. And White Rain getting the first pick on a Stitch. And Vanguard getting poked out early. Trick playing super slow around his jump and his bubble cooldowns. And they're going to stagger Recon on the Moira here. That's Soupcan securing the kill on his support counterpart, his friend. We love to see it. We love the rivalry. And Trick is just, he's content to stay up on these high ground and just sort of avoid the Malga. Vanguard doesn't really have anyone to engage on here. They're playing split. As I say that, he tries to go on the Genji, but he has all of his cooldowns out, so he's able to just dash away. Same with Monkey. He's playing the high ground and not committing jump early. But that Soupcan feeds for a kill onto the Moira. Or onto the Widow, but gets punished by the Moira.
I mean, you're not killing either of them. Unless you hit the one-shot combo onto the Widow, you're not killing the Widow.
That being said, Trick pressuring this backline. Vanguard not able to go in on anything.
And Pluto
Trick
trades.
Everyone. And Vanguard lands a stomp, but it's not enough to confirm a kill. Supports trading cooldowns, and Vanguard falls.
Maga in general is really hard to play on this map. So I think it's going to be really interesting. And Vanguard switches over to Hazard, a much more vertical role hero. Very similar to Queen, but with more mobility. I think Hazard is a much better pick against Dive, especially on Ruins. So it's just going to be interesting to see how they play this.
We have the rush out from Stitch, but he gets focused. And then the Pulse kills Moira and leaves Vanguard at 1 HP.
Ottawa without supports, and they will fall very rapidly.
They don't really have any ults except for Cole that are going to be useful, but they're not even going to get a touch here. They don't have the Lucio player. They don't have the speed ring. No one's going to be even close.
And I see we're saving Cole and Infrasights for next round.
Yeah, and I think that was obviously pretty one-sided. I think we can attribute that a little bit to Shogun Apple not being here. But overall, it just was kind of uncoordinated. I don't think... without Shogun Apple there, there's a lot of inactivity from the back line of Ottawa.
I also don't think the Mauga helped. I think the Mauga was more of a hindrance.
Well, they didn't have anyone to really go in with him, and Mauga, as Foliage has deemed, is sort of like ground Winston. If you're not taking the engages and you're kind of just getting poked down and not really doing much, and that's pretty much all that happened to him.
Havana have taken Lighthouse, but Ottawa are taking the Cage, which is much stronger for their comp.
And Light now opting for the Torb to sort of help pressure out this Monkey and these flankers.
The Genji is not going to have an easy time flanking. And what is Stitch doing?
Stitch likes to play a lot of aggressive angles.
What is this flank?
Now, Adbon gets the first kill on the Trick with a couple of body shots.
Bring around the
shot Bandit here. Vanguard falling low, but of course, infinite sustain on Hazard. You just press right click and you live for free. Voodoo securing the kill on the Stitch, though. As
Heavy
now
and
Havana
full
waits
movement.
for Monkey to come back.
I I
And
think
both
that
tanks
lack of TP
fine.
really. The point does go to Ottawa, though. The thing is, well, stay with Ottawa.
No, Flip comes through here, and Trick is bullying these supports. Vanguard finally coming to peel, get him
Force
off
out
his Widow.
Suzu. There's a Genji behind you. I mean, Ghostface is just kind of ripping this backline to shreds.
You must like having me around.
And they're staged up forward now. Look, Monkey looking to put some pressure onto the squishies early, jumps in. He's on height. He does commit bubble, but is still relatively safe. Jumps out. Ooh, and a
There's
big
that
hazard.
hit the Genji?
But a huge beat comes out. And we're committing Blade. Able to get light. They're even now. And Ghostface dies. Adbon popping the infra sites. Cole coming out. This Monkey is still alive. And he's putting in work. And he has ult to pop to stall this. And he pops it as that soup can falls. Looking to just stall this out a little bit. Ooh, he drops the juggle, but picks it back up on the Moira. But the healing
And
orb
there he
is
goes.
gonna be enough to keep him up in that tiny room.
Another example of why Primal is definitely good, but not the best. Can be out-healed with a simple ability. Havana have Rush.
And they force
So-
out all the Kiri's cooldowns early, just committing a dash and a couple tracer blinks. This
Okay.
rotate might be a little too long. She's gonna get her cooldowns back.
Adbon has chosen the double Venom Mine. What do you think about picking that against Dive?
I think it's probably more viable just because he could sit on angles, not safely per se, but he could at least set them up in spaces where he knows he has to pre-rotate and use his grapple to get out before he's actually hard engaged on. So it probably
Ooh,
makes more sense.
White
to take-
Rain punished.
And Trick trying to weave in and out of that bubble, but the Torb just runs him down with his Kiri. And now the flip coming back to Ott. And this is a much better in terms of the back and forth we're seeing here.
You know, it's a little backwards that Ruins went poorly for Ottawa, Ottawa, and then well is. But they're playing well. They're playing for the Widow, which is their win condition.
And I don't think that hazard will hit anyone, no.
No.
Ghostface caught out, force uses deflect. And Adbon with the infra sights up. And Stitch able to pick Poodoo, and White Rain goes down. Recon committing the fade.
The beat didn't hit the beat didn't hit Ghostface.
And that's going to be the second point to Ottawa. We're all tied up here 1-1 in our first map.
I mean, this can really go either way.
Yeah, I think Light found his home there on the tour, paying dividends to help melt this monkey, break the bubble, and keep the Tracer Genji out of the backline.
Much better showing from Ottawa on well.
We don't see any changes coming from these rosters. They're all deciding to stick to what they're running here.
Ditch decides to not Juno ring out of spawn. Interesting. Oh, this is a devious angle from Adbon.
Yeah, he's been posted up here the last couple times they've gotten Ilios. And that's why I noted the cheeky angles. And Stitch finds the opening kill on Poto.
I mean, you just can't contest the Widow, but this Widow position is kind of cosmetic.
And here we are with Havana trying to stabilize. Trick staged like he wants to go on the Widow, but he doesn't. He jumps back, crosses to his team, forces out all the Kiri cooldowns, is able to get recon, left
Does he
unaware,
get
no
traded?
support.
He gets traded. Oh
Is
no.
traded. And more trades coming out. Poodoo picks up Stitch, but Light, the turret paying dividends, gets 3.
A turret play of the game?
He has the upside down turret. He's trying to repair it. It's on the ceiling. He can't reach it. He just had to replace it.
That turret spot is so infuriating.
Yeah, I think that perk gets slept on a lot. People opt for the level 3, which is good. It's absolutely fantastic. You can full heal your turret if you press E. But there's just times against certain comps where when it's
Oh
in those
wow.
spots, you can't do anything. And Adbon finds Pudo early.
Finds this cringe spot again. Gets
Oh, but they're
peeled.
trying to dive him, but he gets peel. He has it. Use his grapple to get out.
Curie has no cooldowns here. And they do kill her for that.
A Trick forced to commit seppuku. And look at Stitch posted up on this little cheeky flank. Maybe looking to come out after they rotate in.
Oh yeah. With rush, I'm assuming they're gonna go for a rush as they leave the doorway.
And the trigger discipline is there. She doesn't shoot. As Havana goes
Yeah.
to point. And there's the rush from behind. Vanguard following up on it. And Stitch is just in this monkey's face. No one's looking at her. Able to TP and find.
Hits
That's
no one again.
Pudo gets Adbon for what it's worth, but is just left alone to stall this point while there's a turret on
Oh
the ceiling.
wow. And immediately shut down. And Ottawa wins this. 1-0 on the side of Ottawa. There's no Torb play of the game. Unfortunate.
That was almost a boop of all time from Soupcan.
Keyword almost. I'm surprised Recon didn't go off.
Yeah, as funny as the 15% knockback is, it didn't look like it was in effect there. I don't know if mayhaps Soupcan fumbled and picked the wrong perk, but
I didn't
yeah,
even think that would have saved it. I see you, Stan. Gets player of the game with a 1 kill. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how that got play, but it got
honestly,
play.
it was the reverse play of the game because he faded to save himself from the environmental kill, and we all know environmental kills are elevated in the play of the game status. So that's what it was.
No
He got
turret.
lifesaver on himself.
No turret play of the game. The worst timeline. It truly, truly is. It's a tragic day for all the Torb mains.
Honestly valid. It would have been nice to see Light in his Ruby debut with a turret play of the game. That would have been cinematic.
Maybe that would have proved all the ops wrong.
True. Maybe we're just gonna have to promote Light. That's right. You Emerald players, look out. We're no holds barred. We think you have value. We're pushing you to Ruby.
Sorry, like you gotta wait until next season.
And that being said, Havana has map pick and first ban under their belt now.
Is the timer ready?
I have not started a timer, but we're just gonna yap here for a little bit. And if they don't pick anything, I'm gonna yell at them.
Oh god. Will that motivate them to pick faster though?
Let's see. Oh, there it is. I didn't even get to finish typing. The Cervasa map coming out.
Really nerfing Adbon with these choices.
Yeah, I mean, there is still the presence, the pressure there from the one-shot kill, but definitely restricting his angles with some of these map picks. Probably a good idea.
Widow is really hard to play on Cervasa. I think it's gonna be interesting if Widow doesn't get banned, how Adbon changes the playstyle to really force attention away from the rest of their team.
And there it is, the Torb ban. Torb ban. Light is getting put back in hitscan jail. They said, we abused you a little bit on that first round when you were on Cass. You had some unfinished puzzle pieces to put together there. They banned the Torb.
And Ottawa, in return, they ban Lucio. It's a bad day for all Funny Frog players.
That being said, I think they could still make this work without the Lucio. But we'll see.
I mean, with the Lucio ban, I think you just play Juno.
So I think, and I could be wrong, but I thought Frick may be a ball enjoyer, and that was banned first map. But we'll see. We'll see.
Cool saying they just can't handle my Vancouver goat.
Whatchamacallit? Cool no lip from you in the chat. Chat, everyone, if you're listening, I need you to post L cool in the chat. They slept through their allotted stream slot. They said they'd be available to stream, and it was a lie.
And they just weren't available.
This is a common theme where Cool decides to sleep until I don't know, probably like 2 in the afternoon their time. So from now on, anytime Cool has a veil posted for before 6 p.m. EST, we're gonna red strike that. It's not true.
Oh no.
Bro telling me to look at the broadcasting chat like I don't have 97 things up on my screen that aren't the UR broadcasting chat. It's just not gonna happen.
Hold on, I'm looking. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything.
That being said, we're rolling out here. Vanguard on the Queen. Light opting for the May to sort of help this Queen isolate and run at targets. And Trick is on the Ram.
Queen versus Ram. And again, Ottawa not playing any speed control. I wonder if it's because neither of them can play Lucio or Juno.
I think they can. Ooh, Vanguard finding White Rain early. Misposition. Trick went in a little too deep with his form and had to get out.
The Widow posted up on these high grounds. And definitely finding value here.
But I do think a lot of the anti-speed comes from what Ottawa is used to running. And as I say that, Stitch is dueling Ghostface and wins on an off angle. And that's why they don't run the Lucio or Juno. Usually Stitch is 2-on-1 with Shogun on these angles. But without Shogun here today, it's just taking matters into her own hands. She's just on the flank Kiri angles.
A third DPS Kiri.
Let's be honest. If you're on Kiri, you should just be a third DPS.
Same with Moira. So Actually, wait, that team has like 5 DPSs because they also have a queen.
That being said, the Ram able to sustain quite a bit. Falls low. But cycling has cooldowns well, I might add. A good wall, though, out of light. And
But
Admon finds Ghostface and Stitch
And
finds
Whiterun
Pluto.
get punished.
And an absolutely killer wall from Light. He's killing it right now.
Taking market and
I was gonna say, if you're Vancouver, you better watch out. Light might get promoted here.
yeah, and next flashpoint is Temple. A little bit more space for Widow to play, so I think this is arguably one of the scarier points if you're versing Advon.
And the Infrasight's popping up on this rotate as he tries to get the close angle, but Trick smells it. Even forms to push him out. But now he's back on his main angle. He's looking, it's still up. And as soon as it ends, the rush catches that soup can early. And Admon finds one as Ghostface commits the ult and he gets taken out and no one's in the May ult. But Trick commits a Ram ult and Light doesn't even care. He drops the May ult to say no you.
Look who's back. Shogun. Shogun is here.
And that's a point cap out of Ottawa. Honestly, they don't even need Shogun. Shogun, you're in the back seat for this one. This is Light's show here.
Tough luck, sorry.
And Trick onto the hazard, which I thought might happen after we committed that Ram ult. It seemed like he wanted to swap. Nadbon posted on this height for free, watching them cross. Not finding anything, but the pressure's there.
What makes this Widow so oppressive is that you can't really touch her.
And Light finds Photo! He's a menace, ladies and gentlemen!
Why is this die? Why are they in Emerald? They're destroying.
And it's just Ghostface cleaned up by the Moira.
And that is their second point capture. Believe this is Garden. Yep.
And Havana actually
Meeting
able
the
to get
rotation.
first. Yeah. I will say the hazard wall is useful here, but the May wall may pay dividends.
And
But
they
both
just
teams
force them
pull it.
into a tiny room.
Hadbon confirms a kill with Venom Mine. And trade's going in the favor of Ottawa here. They're just going to take the core roster back to point, except for Stitch looking for a cheeky angle, but Havana's already rotating out.
And that is their third point capture.
And Genji trying to get on Stitch, but poked out, uses her TP. And another rush online here. Gonna meet the rotation as Havana tries to stabilize in this. Ooh, and Ghostface messed up his dash. He hit the broadside of a wall, gets picked off for it. They're gonna chase these kills here. They don't have speed though. So it looks like the Juno and the Soldier gonna make it out okay.
One of the many problems about not having speed control. You can't stagger.
It is a problem, but I don't think Ottawa cares. It's just not their style.
No, I mean their style is working really well.
I was gonna
So
say
you don't need to change it.
they're literally just looking to out mechanic people.
It is quite literally a skill diff.
And Light with the headshot. Oh, but gets
And-
taken out.
And
And
add
Ghostface-
on with the
I don't even know what to say. It's just an ult vomit, but to like Havana's chagrin, nothing they do is working here.
I will say, how is a Juno dying to Venom Mine?
It's the double Venom line. Maybe she's hitting 2 of them. I actually
They don't
know.
stack. The damage doesn't stack.
I'm honestly not sure. Something tells me she's probably getting shot at by everything else while she's hit by the Venom line.
Probably just speculation between us, though, right?
And to play the game from Adbon with a crisp little 2K.
That's going in the clips later.
You could do better. Come on, Adbon. 2 kills. That's it. That's all you got.
Almost got a third, though.
You put yourself in widow jail for 2 kills and play the game? Come on, buddy.
Storm is the only one who did a prediction. That is...
He lost 10K. To the bank, baby. To the banker. Hand it over.
No one in specific. Okay, Havana gets banned and pick again. But this time Shogun Apple is actually playing.
Honestly, I kind of hate it, bro. Let light shine. He was here. He was putting in the work.
Yeah. We're sorry, Shogun. You're getting benched for an Emerald player.
I was gonna say, I think we give the people what they want. We gotta listen to chat on this one. We gotta ride with light.
I am seeing in chat from Storm. This was from a while ago. Let's go light. What a fucking king. So sorry if I just swear it out. It's a quote.
No, we don't mind swearing here. We just have to be a little mindful. You know, every now and then you let one slip. It's okay. No one's watching. That panda guy, I'm pretty sure he's retired. He's never shown up to a UR stream, so we're good.
Twitch TOS is gonna be on us soon, though.
We're not the worst. We're not the worst.
And chat is saying, keep my goat light in from Cool. Cool, you cannot be talking.
Storm is the #1 light glazer. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. That being said, another map and ban phase going to Havana. They now do not have the dreaded Light Torb or May to worry about. I wonder what they opt for here.
I mean, what do you think they should go to if you're Havana?
It's a tough one. It's hard to say. I think they've been losing in the outright brawls. Now, of course, Adbon is in Widow Jail, but the only map types we have left, most of the maps in our pool, definitely open up sightlines for the Widowmaker. Even though it might not be conventional, but I'd love to see Pudo or Ghostface just take the Widow one. Just run it down. Let's see a Havana. Hey, that's the team name, right? Surely it's your map. But I don't know.
mean, if you want to avoid the Widow duel, I think you have to go to Root here. Because like your other options are Gibraltar, one of the best Widow maps in the game. Havana, also one of the best Widow maps, and Rialto, one of the best Widow maps. And then your hybrid isn't much better. But they are gonna go to Havana.
You love to see it. You love to see it. I want to see someone take the Widow duel.
Wouldn't it be ironic if Havana lose on Havana?
No, see, that Soupcan said it. Home field advantage.
And Vanguard says they agree with it.
Also cool, let's be honest. Even if you didn't sleep through today's game, I would have targeted you in chat anyways, okay? Storm calling the Adbon Widow is gonna go crazy. I hope so, but I want to see the ones. I want to see Pudo or Ghostface step up and take a Widow one here.
Adbon saying in chat, ban Widow, you won't, is a little hubristic, but a little bit too much hubris. Let's see if they get smited for it.
I was gonna say, I guess that's always an option. I mean, they could ban Widow, but I think with his time here in UR, we have come to know that there are far more scarier things than Adbon on Widow. Um, a few short seasons ago, I'm pretty sure we've seen him build Echo ult in 25 seconds flat, and that's not an exaggeration. Um, of course, there was a damage boosted Mercy involved, but I mean, it was literally like 30 seconds flat on King's Row, had copy. We've
That's
also seen him
impressive.
terrorize on Pharah. I think there's been some Sojourn action there. Yeah, there's far scarier things than Adbon Widow.
Is Adbon going to be free from the cell, or will he be forever locked in that cell?
The thing is if they don't ban a DPS here, Ottawa has already been cheeky and banned Widow themselves to force Adbon onto a better suited character. That being said, Havana banned Sombra, so Widow is on the board, and Adbon will stay in his cell.
I will say, Ajax also said we in the lab with the bans. You're definitely in the lab. However, I think the smoke detectors are going off.
No, I mean if they're not really sure who to ban, and again, I could have sworn Trick played ball. I don't know if this is the map you want to bring it out on now, but I don't know. I'm not a ball enthusiast. Maybe there's some Havana wrecking ball theory out there that I'm not aware of, but maybe they banned the Sombra just in case they thought maybe they'd see it out of Shogun, but I don't know. Or maybe they're protecting something. I'm not sure. I don't know. They are cooking them. What it is they're cooking, we won't know until we get into the lobby.
Ottawa choose to ban Winston.
Ban Winton. I mean, that's respectable. I do think Winston struggles a bit here on the first and third point. The third point especially, it's just so open. There's so much distance to cover. A lot of the times you get poked out before you have the chance to jump. You have to kind of play a bit slower, but you could definitely force the monkey on second point, and I think they want Adbon to not have any pressure on him, just so he could hit those shots. So, respectable ban, I guess.
I think it makes sense, but wouldn't you prefer to ban like Diva or Ryan just to stop a potential spawn hold? But Ottawa also get to choose the side.
I mean, I guess they're also just going off what they've seen Trick play. We haven't seen the Diva come out yet. It hasn't really been a factor. And as far as the spawn hold goes, again, I don't even really think they need to do it. We've seen it done with some success, but I feel like every spawn hold I've seen since the spawn rework here has pretty much been circumnavigated by the high ground they put out there. Like, yeah, I guess you eat. We've seen a couple. You eat like 30 seconds off, which is time in the bank, and you're guaranteed a second fight. But definitely not nearly as impressive as it used to be before the spawn rework. And there it is. Trick is on ball.
And
At least flashing the ball. And Pudo flashing the Widow, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what I wanted to see.
they are choosing to take the Widow Mirror with Shogun on Ash, so that double hit scan, it is going to be very, very deadly, especially with the Sigma there.
Yeah.
And Stitch is playing a Mercy pocketed Widow.
I was going to say, there is definitely a couple factors stacked in the favor of Adbon. It's not a true Widow duel. Puto's gonna have some other factors to worry about. The Ash, the Sig Shield. Gonna
The
make his
Mercy
life a
pocket.
little difficult. Yeah, and of course Rez is in play. Um, it's not gonna be fun. But we see it. They've found each other. They're jiggling. Vanguard opting for this close, aggressive angle on Cart.
With the Ana, I think it's really gonna work. Cause like, who can you dive here?
Yeah, and Trick just getting poked down by this Sig and Ash.
Hits
That's
the
who can eats a
rock.
rock, but gets cleansed, is fine. And finally, Ball looking for this flank with his Tracer. That's
But
why
Trick is very low and has no armor.
And the slam comes out, able to get a soft reset, pokes the Sig from behind, who's discorded. Vanguard giving some space. Now we see these sight lines slowly opening up, maybe for Puto. No, Vanguard's back on the corner. And he rocks Soup Can, who gets taken out. White Rain picks Adbon, though.
Maybe Rez? Yep.
The res comes out, and Vanguard just walking down Puto, who has no support, was left on cart after Soup Can got rocked. White Rain stuck behind the car, and Adbon finds it. Oh, and Shogun finds Ghostface. But Puto responds.
Slam.
Does Stitch have res up? I don't think so. And Ball sort of shadowing there. Oh,
They
he
do.
does. And the rock comes out to stop Trick.
Okay.
Ooh, and Admon taking Ghostface heads off. And Vanguard commits the ult. Finding Soup Can. Finding Puto.
Perks will be in play soon, so you really need to make sure of that. I believe Vanguard already has his perk, but I could be wrong.
He does. He took the one that scales the rocks.
Based on distance.
Yes. And Ball trying to wreak havoc in his backline.
Also, what is that Trick crosshair?
We don't ask questions here.
Why is the...
And a solo ult onto Trick from Shogun, tries to bob the ball. And Stitch is going ham on the Mercy, running people down with the Sig. And this is just super disorganized. White Rain TP's out, left stranded on cart, and Stitch with the melee cleanup on this Mercy.
Can we give Mercy a shotgun?
I don't think it's necessary.
No, but I think it is necessary.
It's not. Not with Valk.
Flying shotgun sounds perfectly balanced to me.
I was gonna say a tiny hitbox zipping around at light speed on no cooldown with a shotgun. Not on my list of things that I want to do. Sorry.
Why not? Wouldn't it be fun?
No, I don't think so. And now we have Trick here mirroring the Sig, but maybe too late. A measly 22 seconds left on the clock. They try to salvage this push here. Ghostface pokes Adbon off this high ground. Shogun Apple falling low, but has the Mercy Pocket. And White Rain takes out Adbon. Will they be able to keep the pressure up, deny space, and deny res? No, Vanguard shields it and uses hands. But the rush coming out on the side of Havana. And the Trank comes out, both support ults, but Shogun picks up White Rain.
I thought we were able to see the first C9.
Looks like it's clean up here. And Ghostface trying desperately, but to no avail.
I mean, this attack does not inspire confidence.
Score 0-0. Switching sides. Initiating match.
I think the question is, does Havana go for the spawn hold?
Um, I don't know. It could potentially be risky if they don't do it right. If they don't all die on cart and some progress is gained just because of where they got the cart to, it could be dangerous if they stagger.
Hmm. Especially if the Juno gets super staggered and you don't have that speedering to get back there in time.
That being said, they are opting for it, which is probably for the best. As long as they do it cleanly, they will get value here and will confirm a second fight.
And there goes Genji.
But as I say that, yeah, Puda with an interesting angle, trying to contest maybe the Widow who's going to come out top, but he met the Sig instead.
He met the Sig Mercy.
And Ghostface finds Shogun, but immediately they're forced to give this space. The spawn hold falls apart.
Body block. Oh no.
Oh, Trick gets out with a smidge of health left. This Brig has isolated themselves, though, able to bash, able to cross. Soupcan playing a dangerous game there.
Very low shield, however. And Puda just ints again.
Trying to take these off-angle duels, but they're not really duels. Stitch is usually close by Shogun. That's the one staple thing that we've seen in this roster is the 2-on-1s. And Ghostface able to get Shogun, but instantly res, and now left out of position. Going to be walked down by the Sig here. And Shogun is going to spawn as Stitch and Adbon walk the card in.
Do they get a touch here? I think
Falcon
maybe
has
Trick
one if he
touches.
wants it.
Yeah, I think
The nade
Falcon gets
coming
it.
out. This is
The
the
Brig gets it.
Adbon finding White Rain, though. They're just down a break on cart, trying to sustain.
The Battle
All the
Mercy and
Ults
Valk.
get popped. Trick able to run out of the flux, but falls anyways. And that's gonna be it,
3-0.
ladies and gentlemen. That is a quick 3-0 in favor of Ottawa.
You would have thought that this matchup was closer.
I don't know. On paper, Ottawa is honestly a really scary team in terms of just raw game knowledge between Shogun, Vanguard, and Adbon. You pretty much have the Library of Congress sitting there. Now, there has been some stipulations. Shogun is off-rolling. Adbon is in Widow Jail, but still just the combined brain power between the three of them. It's a really intimidating roster to face.
I still think that Havana had moments of lucidity where they were able to play the way they wanted. But in general, I just think that maybe this matchup is something you might need to work on a little. But I do think there is definitely a way you can beat this.
That being said, that is our first match of the day. To you viewers still in chat, we do have another game being streamed at 7:30, I believe.
Yes.
I'll be casting that one as well, joined by my good buddy Storm, so please make sure to tune in for that.
And
And-
Storm is in chat. Got 7.2k from winning that.
Recouped a little bit of that loss. But GG's to everyone who came out into both teams today. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.